What's up, guys? My name's Andres, and our topic for the debate is minimum wage. So a quick background about minimum wage is the federal minimum wage was introduced in 1938 during the Great Depression under President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It was initially set at 25 cents an hour and has been increased by Congress 22 times, most recently in 2009 when it went from $6.55 to $7.25 an hour. And $7.25 an hour is what the federal minimum wage is at right now. So for my affirmative side, I'm going to have a significance claim, which is going to be benefiting the economy, my inherency claim, which is going to be keeping up with inflation, and solvency claim, which is the life of an everyday worker. So back to my significance claim. Raising the federal minimum wage would benefit the country's economy. Subpoint 1. Raising the federal minimum wage would increase economic growth. The Economic Policy Institute stated that a minimum wage increase from the current rate of $7.25 an hour to $10.10 an hour would inject $22.1 billion net into the economy and create about 85,000 new jobs over a 3-year phase-in period. Another set of information. According to the Economist newspaper, America as a whole is an outlier among advanced economies. Given the pattern across the rest of the OECD, a group of mostly rich countries, one would expect America, where GDP per person is $55,000, to pay a minimum wage around $12 an hour. This would mean a raise of about 65% for Americans earning the minimum pay rate. Subpoint 2 of my significance claim. Raising the federal minimum wage would spur job growth. Economics from the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago predicted that a $1.75 rise in the federal minimum wage would increase aggregate household spending by $48 billion the following year, thus boosting GDP and leading to job growth. Now on to my inherency claim. Raising the federal minimum wage would help keep up with inflation. Subpoint 1. Raising the federal minimum wage would increase purchasing power. And if you guys don't know, purchasing power is the number of goods that can be bought with a unit of currency. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the federal minimum wage has affected the purchasing power, which has dropped considerably since its peak in 1968. The minimum wage in 1968 was $1.60, which is equivalent to $11.16 in January 2016, and which is 53.9% higher than today's $7.25 federal minimum wage. Another evidence. An article titled 5 Facts About Minimum Wage in 2015 stated between July 2015 and the last increase in minimum wage in 2009, the federal minimum wage lost 8.1% of its purchasing power to inflation. Subpoint 2 of my inherency claim. The federal minimum wage is not indexed for inflation. This means it's indexed for inflation means in order to maintain purchasing power after inflation. According to Liana Fox, PhD senior analyst at the Economic Policy Institute, inflation indexing guarantees low-wage workers a wage that keeps pace with the rising cost of goods and services. Raising the minimum wage and indexing it to inflation would ensure that low-wage workers could adopt a standard of living commensurate with the current economy. Now on to my solvency claim. Raising the federal minimum wage would increase the everyday life of a worker. Subpoint 1. Workers are more likely to afford basic living expenses. According to a 2013 poll by Oxfam America, 66% of U.S. workers earning less than $10 an hour report that they just meet or don't even have enough to meet their basic living expenses. And 50% say that they are frequently worried about affording basic necessities such as food. A 2015 report by the Alliance for a Just Society found that the federal minimum wage for $7.25 per hour represents less than half of a living wage for a single adult. And a worker supporting only himself would have to work 93 hours a week at the federal minimum wage in order to meet needs ends, or skip necessities like meals or medicine. Subpoint 2. Raising the federal minimum wage would increase worker productivity. Alan Manning, a professor of economics at the London School of Economics, stated in 2014, as the minimum wage rises and work becomes more attractive, labor turnover rates and absenteeism tend to decline. A 2014 survey also found that 53% of small business owners believe that with the higher minimum wage, businesses would benefit from lower employee turnover and increased productivity and customer satisfaction. So our affirmative side, me and Nick truly believe that we should raise the minimum wage, and our plan of action is relatively simple. We want to increase the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $10.10 an hour, which is approximately a 40% increase. We believe that this will help the economy and help the U.S. as a nation grow. Thank you.